friends, and welcome back to the Bold & Burn YouTube channel. I am Emily and I am here today to do my April stash stats wrap up. My stash stats wrap up for the month of April. There we go. I have some great numbers for this month and I'm thrilled about it. So just as a reminder, last month we ended with we were in the positive by 279 grams for March, but then the year to date was -1 gram. So in April, I actually finished several things. I had two things that I really wasn't expecting to get done and I got done. And then a couple of other things that I wasn't originally planning to do, but were kind of in between projects. I'll go over it. So I started off the month where my first finish of the month was my scrappy crochet basket. And when I was pulling out the yarns for this, there were some yarns that I ended up just throwing away. It was 6 grams of like acrylic yarn that was just, it was old yarn and it wasn't looking too good, so I just threw it away. So that was -6 grams out. Then I finished this basket, which is -680 grams. Then I finished my solace tea, which is right here. Let's see. I was wearing it yesterday, so here we go. I finished my solace tea, which was -237 grams out of my stash. Then I finished a second scrappy crochet basket, and that was 710 grams out of my stash. So realistically, these scrappy crochet baskets totally saved me. So yeah, between those two baskets alone, it was, what is that, like 1,300 grams or something? Like, it was a lot of yarn out of my stash. And this has been incredibly useful. I use it all the time. All the time. It is one of my, I think, favorite finished items I've ever made. It is amazing. So then after that, I finished 4 of these Bluebird of Happiness. This is a pattern by, is it Sarah Elizabeth Kellner or something? I don't remember exactly, but I'll have the pattern linked down below. I made 4 of these. 3 of them were as gifts. I made some little Knitting Notions goodie bags for 3 of my knitting friends and shipped those off to them, but then I also made one for myself so that I could have one too. And it's really cute because I've had it hanging above our dresser where we change the boys' diapers and whatnot, and my 3-year-old saw it and he was just like, "You need to make me a blue one and a red one and a black one and a big one and a mama one." Like, he was just going through, he was just like, "I need all the birds now." So I'll probably be making a couple more of these, but it's been a great diaper changing toy. They both like to play with it. So 4 of these was 20 grams. Then this was kind of this is one that I've been thinking about making for quite some time, and I just kind of got on a kick of, I kind of wanted a really fast and easy, like instant gratification type of project. I made a grocery bag holder. This was from a free pattern that I mostly followed. I kind of did my own thing, but I used a couple different colors of I Love This Cotton yarn from Hobby Lobby. This multicolor one was one that we grabbed at Hobby Lobby when we were on vacation. Like, it would have been 2023. Yeah, so fall of 2023 we were on vacation, and there weren't any local yarn stores close by, and so I was like, you know what, we can just go to a Hobby Lobby and I'll grab a skein of yarn from there, and that will be my special vacation yarn. And so that's what this was, and it's been sitting in my stash ever since because I just could not think for the life of me what I wanted to make with it. And so then when I was just kind of looking at some of my cotton yarns, I had the realization, I was like, this would be perfect. So it's just like Walmart bags, plastic bags that are just in here. You start off by crocheting around a hair tie, which I think is just brilliant. And I will have the pattern linked down below. It was super, super easy, super fast. I absolutely loved making this. It was just, the hardest part of it is that, if you can see, these clusters are just 2 double crochet stitches, when I am very used to doing 3. Like if you're doing a granny cluster stitch, if you're familiar with crocheting, I always do 3. There were 2 or 3 different times that I had got like 6 stitches in. It was like, or 6 clusters in, and realized I had done 3 for all of them, so I had to pull it back out, because it made a very obvious difference, the sections that had 3 double crochet stitches instead of 2. And then I used up the entire skein that I had of this variegated, and then I had some yellow that I just did for the top, and it's super cute. We've been using it a bunch, and I am planning to make some more for gifts. I think it's going to make a fantastic gift project. I had 4 siblings get married in the last 2 years, so there's plenty of like young families that I can make a grocery bag holder for, and I probably will make one for all 4 of them. We'll see. But I loved it. It was so fast and so easy, and just a really, really pleasurable project to work on. Anyway, so that used up 104 grams out of my stash. And then I pulled my, I had 1 sock whip that has been on the needles for, I couldn't even tell you how long, a couple of years. And there was a mystery sock knit along that was coming up, and I was like, you know what, I don't want to start another sock when I haven't even finished this one that's been on my needles for who knows how long. So before I even think about doing the mystery sock along, which I decided I'm not going to do, I've got too many other projects I want to work on, but before I even considered doing a mystery sock along, I wanted to finish this other pair of socks. And I have the other one, but I'm just going to show you one. I finished them. These are out of some opal yarn, and the toe and heel are Drops Fable. And they're really, really cute. And I'm super pleased. So when I picked it back up, I had 1 sock done, and I had worked the second sock, the cuff, and then the 10 rows before starting the heel. It was right when I needed to start the heel. So I did that. And that used up 44 grams of yarn. And then I don't have them out here, but I filmed a whip review video, which is the video before this one, I think. I think this is going to be the one that comes out next. I'm in the process of filming another vlog, but I don't think that one's going to be done until maybe next weekend. So I went through all of my whips, and I pulled out the fingerless gloves that I had been working on for my husband. And after I finished the socks, and I had finished this grocery bag holder and the bird, and I was like, you know what? This project is so close to being done. If I sat there and focused on it, I bet I could get it done before the end of April. This was like April 29th, I think. And I did. I finished them. I finished them on April 30th, and I hadn't woven in all of the ends, but I finished all of the knitting, so I'm counting them. And yeah, like I said, I don't have them with me, but I'll try and put a picture up here somewhere. And that used up 29 grams of yarn. So the total yarn out of my stash for the month of April was negative 1,830 grams of yarn, which I am so pleased about. That is amazing. That's like, what, 10... Is that like 18 skeins of yarn? Is that right? That doesn't feel right, but I think it might be right. Oh, my poor brain. We had a rough night last night. The baby was up a good bit. Anyway, there's a lot of skeins of yarn out of my stash, and I'm so happy because even though I know most of it was in these scrappy crochet basket things, I had a lot of random acrylic yarn that was just floating around, and it was filling my acrylic yarn tub to the top. And now I have like some breathing space in my acrylic yarn tub. And it's so nice. I'm so happy about that. So even though it feels slightly like I cheated a little bit, I used it and I made some very useful things with it. So it works. The only yarn that came into my stash in the month of April was this Barocco Splash yarn that I purchased from Knit Picks. I mentioned this in my last podcast episode. I ended up getting 13 skeins of this. They were 50-gram skeins, and as you can see, I've already caked some up. I'm getting ready to cast on a project with it, which I'm very excited about. But this yarn came in, and it was 650 grams into my stash. So that means that I had 650 grams in, 1,830 grams out, for a net total of negative 1,180 grams for April, or for the year to date, negative 1,179 grams for the year. So we're back in the negatives, which I'm so pleased about. But that being said, I have already had some yarn coming into my stash for this month for some gift nets for later in the year, and then I have some more yarn that's supposed to be coming in, and I have some yarn that I bought, but it was for my husband to give to me, and he hasn't given it to me yet, so it doesn't count into my stash yet, but I told him some of it was my Mother's Day present, so that'll probably be coming in. But then also I'm hoping to like finish my Wuju sweater this month, which would be a lot of yarn out of my stash. So hopefully we will remain in the negatives. That is all that I have for this video. I would love to know how you are doing with your stash goals. I'm very happy with my stash goals, and yeah, I'm very pleased with all of the crafting I was able to get done this month. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you on the next one. Bye!